All right. Hello, interwebs. My name is John. I'm one of the co-founders of URX. Thank you all for being here today and helping their first Deeplink office hours. So kind of in the course of the next about hour or so, go through a few topics just about the fundamentals of getting set up, your apps set up to support Deeplinks. So just quickly, we can have our team go through the basics of how to enable Deeplinks for your app. But actually, how these apps or Deeplinks are set up, they actually expose those routes to the internet, so that different apps and your different sites can actually index you and actually send traffic into your app. Third, we'll give an introduction to URX and kind of what we do and how we think about this whole ecosystem, following up with what OmniLinks are and how to actually use these in your marketing campaigns. So we'll just kind of talk about some of the other industry trends that are going on around app links, Facebook, also Twitter's working on the space, as well as Google's app indexing. And then kind of talk a little bit more about what URX does and open up for Q&A. So with that, introduce the team to actually talk about how to enable Deeplinks for your app. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm James Turner. I'm going to explain to you quickly what Deeplinks are. So a deep link is simply just a link to a specific piece of content. That could be on the web or an app. So for example, that could be a link to a Wikipedia page on T, or it could be a deep link for an app taking you to just song on Spotify, for example. Basically, what the deep link itself is comprised of is what you're used to seeing in the URL, which is a schema. Usually this would be HTTP colon. And a route, which usually is broken up into a host and a path. But for the sake of this, we're just going to explain this as being a route, and then a query, which is optional data that's passed into the deep link. So the mechanism that this thing actually works with in mobile apps is you'll take your route, which could be something like product 1, 2, 3, 4, and then your application will actually handle how to parse that and how to set the application to the correct state to show the user the content that they want to see. So doing this on mobile, we have an open source framework that you can use on iOS to handle your routing. Or you can roll it yourself. It's not terribly difficult. It's just a matter of parsing out those URIs and being able to take the user to the right content. And on Android, it's far easier. You can use a word called Android Intents, which basically let you map your code to individual routes. So, Jeremy.
Hey guys, I'm Jeremy. I'm going to be talking about how to actually expose your deep links to the internet, basically. So there's a few different things going on in the ecosystem already. We have basically Google thinking about its app indexing initiative, which is only for Android. We have Facebook's recent release the other day on app links, and then we have Twitter cards as well. And for the most part, most of these are implemented using some form of metadata for link tags on the actual web page in question itself. And there's a new one that you can see here, which is the URX's Open Content Linking Standard, which we'll see on the next page. But basically, Google has this link tag, and Facebook has a meta tag, Twitter has a meta tag, which we go to the next slide, we'll see. So here's just like a few examples. So sorry if it's a little small, but basically we have the Open Content Linking Standard, which is up top, which is a link tag specifying like an alternate relation for only for Android in this case, for example. And then we have an example of how Facebook handles that with its meta tags. And sort of like, again, like this is the deep link route that's being exposed, along with like the Google Play package name here, for example. The Twitter parse tags are very similar to the Facebook ones, where you have a separate tag for the actual deep link versus the Google Play package name. And then finally at the bottom, you can see Google's app indexing tag, which, if you compare this actually to our open content linking center, they're actually identical, minus the media query. So they're actually backwards compatible with each other.
Cool. So now that you've actually added deep links to your app, let's assume you've added deep links to your iOS app and your Android app, and as Jeremy just said, you expose them to the web. The next step is actually wanting to send traffic in your mobile app. You did all that work, so you might as well get some benefit out of it. And that's where OmniLinks come in. So OmniLinks are smart links that route your users to the best place to experience content. To unpack that a little bit, basically how it works is when you put http://urx.io in front of your link, if it's clicked on a mobile device and that user has the iOS app or the Android app installed, it will open to the correct page in that app. If they do not have the app installed on that device, it will go back and fall back to the website so they can read the content. The idea being that this link should never fail and it should always bring the user to the content. And just a quick note, we get this question a lot. If it's clicked from a desktop device, obviously they do not have the app installed, and so it will go to the website. So how do you use OmniLinks? I went over it a little bit, but it's kind of surreal how it works sometimes. So there's no code level integration. Literally, if you've exposed your deep links to the web, as Jeremy laid out, you put http://urx.io in front of your links, your web links. And you can share them anywhere. So you can put these in your email newsletter campaigns to your users. And you don't have to do any extra segmentation. Just send it to all your users because it works for everybody. You can use it in your social media share buttons. You could go right now and share it on Twitter. You could do a post on Facebook, and OmniLinks would work. You can even put them behind ads. So here's a quick example of a URX.io link I shared on Twitter this morning. Actually, no, that was a few days ago. And it has this, as you can see here, one of the common questions we get is, will my metadata that I put on my site for Twitter and Facebook still show in the share posts that I put up on Twitter and Facebook? As you can see here, I tweeted an Airbnb link to this private island in Fiji. And since on that page on Airbnb, they marked it up with their Twitter card meta tags, the image, you can still, even when you're using your URX.io link, everything will appear the same and they'll pull in that image. The other thing I want to note quickly here is we get questions about URL shorteners. If you want to use a URL shortener like Bitly or some other shortener that you like to use, simply put URX.io/whatever your web link is, and just put that in your link shortener, and then share that, and it'll still work. So this is good for marketing because basically now you can increase organic traffic in your app. And provide the user the best experience by taking them to the content in the app if they have it, or the website to that same exact content. And finally, now you can start to see, we're going to start adding analytics so you can actually see where the users are routed. So you get, if you share a post on Facebook, where did those people view that content, or where did they get routed through the OmniLink? You'll start to be able to see that as well. And if you're interested in that, please get in touch with us at support@URX. So AppLinks and OmniLinks. So this Monday, we launched OmniLinks, and then a couple days later, Facebook's come out with a proposal for how apps can send traffic to one another. And the great news is, and so we've been getting a lot of questions, okay, how does this world fit together? What's the deal? What's going on? Well, pretty much what Facebook's done here is they released a proposal of how apps can send traffic to one another. We think it's awesome. It's very similar to the things that we've proposed in the past and what Google and Twitter have proposed with exposing your deep links on your website. The good news is, so it's a great infrastructure for linking from app to app, and the good news is OmniLinks was built to work on top of opinions presented by Google, Facebook, including this AppLinks proposal, and Twitter. And it allows marketers to share OmniLinks anywhere today so they can drive traffic into their app. So that's the key. you want to drive traffic into your app today, you can create an Omni link and you can share it. And we built it on top of the opinions like app links, so it just works. So we're pretty excited that they came out with that, and we'll continue to, if you have any questions on app links, let us know. We'd be happy to answer.
So we talked about URX in the scope of how we work with developers to help them actually set up the routes in their application through our Turnpike open source framework. We also talked about how OmniLinks work by simply putting URX.io in front of any one of your web links to make it a link that works everywhere. But in addition to this, we've actually turned our URX.com website into a local validator where you can actually go and look to see whether a given website is actually compliant or supports any of these new standards around how apps expose their deep links to the web. So if you go to URX.com today and type in any web URL, you can actually validate whether that website has these tags in their site, and ultimately will support being able to send traffic into their app. In addition to this, as Chris alluded to a little bit earlier, we're ramping out all of our analytics for all the OmniLink traffic that our clients support and see. So this means that you can see, based on the source of where the traffic came from, and ultimately where people ended up, all the click level analytics, and are releasing down funnel analytics very soon, which will integrate with the conversion trackers that you use, or through the URX SDK. And if you have any more questions about this, you can certainly get a hold of us on our website, or contact us at info@urx.com. So any of you today from home or from wherever the interwebs you might be doing this, you can try the OmniLink by simply typing urx.io/ in front of any other web link that's out there. We like Airbnb, so we think Airbnb is a great example to try this. Just simply urx.io/ airbnb.com/rooms/44047 will show you all one of our favorite places in Fiji that we all hope to visit sooner rather than later. And again, as we kind of echoed throughout this, we're always available to answer any of your questions that you might have about anything having to do with deep links, how to set up your app to support them, or how to actually leverage them in your marketing campaigns. So ask us anything online 24/7, or certainly come visit us in San Francisco and Soma at 168 South Park. We're here basically all the time, and we'd certainly love to meet any of you in person. Again, contact us anytime, support@urx.com. I'm John at URX.com, and so please send any questions our way, and don't hesitate to reach out. So with that, we'll open it up to Q&A. Thank you.